Well, welcome to Mimosa. Mimosa Restaurant is where we film out of, actually, Vegas Live with Ninon. And I have Heidi Gray with me. Heidi Gray has a very different story, and I'm not going to help her, with something that I just came across in the last 2 or 3 weeks that might help a lot of what you're trying to do. Now, what Heidi has done, I just know a little story because I don't interview anybody until they come on set, so I ask her a couple of questions. That's all I know. Unfortunately, her son died of cancer at 20 years old, and you started a non-profit.
Yes.
Is this for cancer or is this for the younger generation with cancer?
Well, it's a pediatric cancer, and
Okay.
it's non-hereditary, and it forms when they're born. They are
Oh,
born with
really?
a protein, and it develops later on through their development into
The protein they're born with,
Mm-hmm.
it's better not to have, correct?
Oh no, you don't.
You don't want
want
this?
It. No.
So how? Oh, this is a little different. Oh, different avenue I'm going on. So how does the baby get it in their system that doesn't come from the parents?
No, it's non-hereditary. They're born with this protein.
So how do they form that? Have you gone into that?
That's the thing, is that they have. That's why I'm starting this, is because
Nobody knows.
yeah, I believe that research development will be able to detect the protein before it develops into cancer, and that's what our main goal is doing. Is
So
going to
does the protein? I mean, I'm sure you've researched this. Or does the
Mhm.
protein run through the blood system, or does it obviously run through the body? So is it in the blood system?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. All I know is that it develops through when they develop.
As they're
through
developing,
developing.
through you,
No,
through the
I'm
nine-
sorry. Through their life.
through their life.
Yes.
But as they're developing the 9 months of development, they're picking this up from they've got to get it from somewhere.
That's
and they're saying it's not in your system.
No.
That's kind of strange to me, but then, that's why when children don't look like their mum or dad, or look like both, or that's why, because they pick up different genes, or they pick up no genes. They
Yes.
look like either parent. So they're kind of, when they're being developed for the first 9 months, they're kind of being an individual. So is that what they're causing? Is that what they're calling this cancer, like an individual?
Well, it's when they're born, they're not testing for it because there's so much mystery around this cancer, because it is non-hereditary, so it can develop anywhere.
And they're calling it cancer.
Yes, it is. It does later on develop into cancer in their life. Up to the age of 19, there has been cases of them getting it in their early 20s, late 20s.
So it doesn't develop until they're in the early 20s, the late teens or early 20s, it starts to develop. It must develop pretty fast.
Yes, it's a very aggressive cancer.
But it doesn't start developing until older. This is a mystery.
It is.
Cancer is a mystery anyway, apparently, because I think cancer's been since the 1800s and they still haven't got a cure for it.
Yes.
So that's something that sort of kind of bothers me, because it's just a body.
Yes, but they've done so much research with, breast cancer that they can detect it before you actually get breast cancer.
Yeah. Oh, they can now.
Yes, you can find out if you have that
a
gene.
mammogram. Oh, it's good.
They can detect if you have that gene for breast cancer, and that there's other options like to.
So can a woman go in, hasn't got breast cancer, can she say, please, I want to be tested for breast cancer to see if I'm going to... Oh,
Yes.
That would be a dodgy thing to do. I don't know
So,
if I would like to do that.
If research is able to do that, why can't they do that for this type of cancer,
Yeah,
for the children?
good question. So how about an answer? We don't have an answer.
Exactly. Well, I do. I know.
Oh.
I think I know.
All
It's
right.
because
Heidi, I want to hear your answer, because this is very, very important. This is very important for our younger generation.
there is millions of dollars going into the American Cancer Society, which only 4% of those funds go in to pediatric cancer, in which nonprofits like myself,
Yeah.
you know, they're brought up and they're trying to raise money for this this research that is not getting enough attention.
We have the same problem with pancreatic cancer. They did not have the money, or they had the money, but they didn't put the money into researching this. And I understand recently, which recently it could be 5 years or longer, that they're now starting to look into this to see where, because they hadn't really put much time into it. So the same thing with your son.
Yes.
Is it because there's not much of it around?
It's a very rare cancer.
Very rare cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's also other stems of it, osteosarcoma. There's the stomach, I forget what it's called. You know, it's also another form of pediatric in the stomach area. A lot of sarcomas that are rare, and Ewing's is a bone cancer. It forms on the bone. It's very aggressive.
And it destroys the bones.
Yes, it weakens them.
So your son was weaker as he went on in life and just...
Yeah, he had to walk with a crutch, and he deteriorated very fast. So.
What was, you know, I know this is probably very tough for you to talk about, but what was he thinking? What did he talk to you about when he knew that it was becoming very, very aggressive? Get myself back together. Okay. Very tough question. I shouldn't ask such a tough question, I guess. But what was he thinking? What was going through his mind?
That's a hard thing. I'm a fighter.
Yes, obviously.
I always led him to believe that he was going to be okay, because I didn't want him to stop fighting. There was times that he would just stare at me, and he did tell me one time that he was going to die, and I told him, no, you're not going to die.
Of course, okay. You're a mother. You
I said, no. You have me as a mom, and you're not going to die. So
of course, that's
so.
What can you say? I mean, obviously, but he knew basically he was getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
How was that? You know, you've got to look at this every day, and the reason I'm asking you this question is for anybody else out there that's going through the same thing, or hopefully not, but we can't deny that this is not happening. What can you tell them on how to go through that?
When they're going through it?
No, well, when you're going through it or watching them.
Give them, don't ever let them give up hope. I mean, even to the very end, and I know it's so hard. I think that, until they take their last breath, there's always going to be hope. And I believe that people have beat the inevitable. There is stories out there.
A lot of people have beat the odds.
Yes.
And
just, don't give up and do your research. I believe a lot of it is taking care of yourself, alkalining yourself.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
But this is all you got. This is all that, so take care of it.
Yeah.
Look after it. Because the cars and the houses and the money and the jewelry and all this stuff is wonderful and it's great, and that's what we go out to work to achieve. But at the same time, how about taking care of this?
Yes.
It's very, very important.
Very important.
So now let's get to your foundation. How's it going?
I just started it about 3 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
And
you have a 501c3?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do have a 501c3.
And what's the name of the
It's
foundation?
JJ's World.
JJ, oh, that was his name? JJ?
JJ, yes. His name was JJ, and I was going to call it JJ's Hearts, but then his friends, when he passed away, said it was JJ's World. Yes. Because my son was very... He was just amazing.
He was a fighter.
Oh yeah, he always was very boisterous. So it
was
JJ's World.
That's a good thing. So, at least the time he had in this world, he spent it well.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So JJ's World obviously is .org, right? And
yes.
How can people reach this? And
you go to it's JJ, not it's the letter JJS -world.org.
Okay, and you're on Facebook and all the different media platforms?
I just
not yet, but she's going there.
I have the website up. Mainly, that's what I try to advertise.
So, what do you want to accomplish with this foundation of what you went through for 20 years. Did you know it at the very beginning, by
No.
the way, when he was born?
No.
How old was he when you found out?
19.
So you didn't know none of this was within him until he was 19?
Yes. 19 years old.
Wow, that's a surprise. And how did you, well, obviously I know how you found out. Why was it diagnosed? Did he ever feel anything before that, or did he ever feel any different? Or
Nothing. It was just a pain that occurred and near his pelvic groin area, and we went and got it tested and found out that he had cancer.
wow.
Yeah.
And
Perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal. Everything was wonderful, and it just happened that fast.
Yes.
Well, so have you researched that you can have tests on this? I mean, should people have tests? You just said you can have a test on breast cancer. So can you have a test, period, as of if you're carrying cancer anywhere in your body? Do they have a test for that? Has to be something definite?
No, that's why I am starting this foundation, to be able to research, to be able to test for this before it develops into cancer, and hopefully killing it before it gets to that point. And
so obviously it was too late. He had developed it, though he didn't. And he may have had a pain. He may have had something. So it's nothing, and kept on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that happened, and I'm sure he didn't know. It's just, I'm too young to have anything going on with me.
Yes.
So you're never really too young.
No, and my advice is that if your child or young adult, go request an MRI. Don't do the X-rays and the ultrasounds. It's non-detectable. It's through an MRI.
MRI.
Has to be.
It has to be through an MRI, which is obviously the one that really lets you know what's going on and what's happening. Have you heard of any other young people having this on? Because now you're in it, you know what's going on. Which is very sad. We try to help if we can on our side. Anybody else having this, or you ask them to kind of, be checked?
I knew there was somebody that I met in Texas. His son had also passed away of Ewing sarcoma. I have a dear friend that we met at UCLA, Vanessa. She is currently dying right now of this cancer.
And is she dying? Which I don't like to use that word, but is she? Is that happening within a year, or is that did she know about not feeling well before a year, or?
No, it was the same way as my son.
Exactly the same way.
Yes.
So this is very difficult because it doesn't happen until a year before, and how are you going to know for a year before? So what you're going through and the tests that you think will help this, and is that what you're raising money for research?
Yes, research to detect a protein before it develops into cancer, because once it develops into cancer, it's 95% that if it metastasizes with anything, it's non-survivable. It's very, very rare.
Very rare that you survive on this.
Yes.
But at the same time, this is tricky because you don't know you've got it, and then when you've got it, it's too late because you've only got a year. So this is really, this must have been devastating for you.
Yes.
Holy shoot. So what would you advise? Is it more prominent in boys than girls? Well, no, you just said your friend in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, both.
Both. So it's the same thing.
Yes.
It just suddenly develops about 18, 19 years old.
Yes.
Around that age, right?
Yes. Possibly younger through their development.
So how do we get every single child in the entire world between the ages of 17 and 18, or even 15 and up, diagnosed? Is that what we have to do?
Yes. It's so simple. I'm sorry. I just think it's simple. It's just, they could do it for breast cancer. Why can't they do it for this?
But when you say it's simple, that's what makes it easier for anybody out there to take care of their child.
Yeah.
Because you could save your child.
Yes.
And you didn't know.
No.
Because it doesn't run in your family. God, this is a catch-21, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm happy now because I feel like I'm getting the word out, and this is what needs to happen.
So what would you really like to say out there to capture our audience of what you went through, of what they can do?
Is that I just want it to be known that this needs to be put out there. It needs to be researched. I believe that if we can find this protein before it develops into cancer, that just as much as we can do for breast cancer, why can't we do it for pediatric? It's, you know, like I said, it seems so simple, and I just feel like we really need to tackle this. And I'm also, my foundation, I also want to do financial for families that are going through cancer, because that is also very devastating. You know, as far as like food and gas and stuff.
Do you often wonder why they don't have, you know, it's gone from the 1800s until now, do you ever wonder why they haven't got a cure for it? They have a cure for everything else. I mean, what's going on? This is a body. Oh, yes, you wanted this thing?
Yes.
Okay, we've got to bring this up. Well, why don't they have a cure for it? I mean, why all these years?
Because it's the FDA. Money.
She's not going to answer. Okay, what's this? We're going to a happy moment. What is this?
This is for you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love presents and she doesn't know that.
This is for you. This is a blanket. This is his emoji that he made.
He made this?
Yeah, he made the emoji, not the blanket. But
yeah, he made the emoji.
Yes.
I was just watching emoji. There was a dog emoji just now on an ad.
Oh, really?
In a car. No, really. I was watching TV and there was an emoji just like this, but it was a dog.
Yeah.
A dog emoji. Look at this.
And it says "Love is forever."
Love is forever. Look
and
at
then the
look
logo.
at this. The JJ World.
JJ's World.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Oh, on the side. Amazing. You have been amazing. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And whatever else we can do for you, let us do.
Okay.
And just keep your spirits up. You're bearing up very, very well. I'm sure you.
Oh, I have my moments.
Oh dear, I'm getting moments all the
I have
time.
my
I
moments.
don't have a moment with her right now. I don't want to go there, but I want to JJ World.
Yes.
JJ's World.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there.
It's his world now.
He's up there all over the place.
He wants to help the world. No.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're
She's
welcome.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thanks.
Heidi Gray. Don't forget that name out there. And follow her footsteps of what she's done, how she didn't find out. It just happened. And when they found out that he was going downhill, then they went to the hospital, had tests, and that's when they found out. That was devastating, especially a year after passing away. It's all too soon. And in this day and age, what are we, 2022? Shouldn't happen this way, should it?
No.
Shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
We're too far forward. Well, that's a lot of things shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be having a war either.
No.
So well, a lot of things are happening that shouldn't be happening. But anyway, thank you for watching Vegas Live with Ninon. We'll be right back with our next guest. Take care.
Hi, I'm making this video to let everybody know about my son who passed away of Ewing sarcoma about a year ago. I'm making this video because I was told to say a memory of him, but there's just so many, and so I decided to let you know that my son was 20 years old when he passed away, 19 when he was diagnosed. He was a teenager full of hormones. He, you know, had issues and problems just like any other child. You know, there was arguments and there was times where he was so loving, and he would always tell me to calm when I would get too much with him. And he hated to be kissed on the forehead, and but I knew that deep down inside he loved it. He loved animals. He, you know, he was just a great human being in general, and he just died too soon. And you know, I just feel like there has to be more that goes into pediatric cancer, not just Ewing's, but a lot more other cancers. I feel like the children, they don't get enough, and there's just so much going into other cancers like breast cancer and colon cancer and all these things, and we're just forgetting about the children. And this is so very, very important, in that, you know, hopefully we can give them longer lasting lives and be able to eventually maybe find a cure. If not so, maybe, you know, give their life, you know, fuller, you know, meaning, you know, longer, fuller life. And I just want to put it out there to please, make it mindful that, our children are, our future, and, they deserve a chance at life.